Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Bros Who Know. I'm Dr. Jeff LaCure. To my right, as always, the big dog himself, Richard Yancey, and we are together, Bros Who Know. Bottom line, we know stuff, don't we, Rich? We just know stuff and we tell
Between the
stuff.
both of us, we know everything.
It's kind of
Between the
true.
two of us,
It's
anyway.
kind
Between
of
the
true.
two
I
of
don't think
us.
anything slips between us very
If we
often.
don't know, we can always Google it anyway.
That's it. Yeah, not a sponsor. It'd be nice if they were a sponsor. Hey, it's November 13th. Quick side note, my basketball team has their very first day today, so if I seem a little tense, I am. It's an exciting time, but it's a tense time. Rich and I got a special episode for you today. We're not going to go controversial, we're not going to go political. We'll probably save that for Thanksgiving Day, maybe even Christmas Day, because nothing says, hey, we want to warm your holidays like me and Rich bringing you something controversial over the Christmas holidays and so on. We're going to talk to you today about really a growing trend, and in some ways it's an explosive trend of body dysmorphia, and you're seeing it more and more in men. And as you know, Rich and I, we don't miss a workout. And not because we have body dysmorphia, it's because we're healthy. It's a great stress reducer, and quite frankly, it looks good. So there's a lot of upside to it. But for some people, we'll show you a picture right now, for people battling body dysmorphia, they can look in the mirror, and sometimes what they'll see, you'll see here from this picture, is the girl's looking into the mirror and she sees somebody really is about three times her size, and then you see the actual how she looks, but she sees herself as large than how she looks. And we'll talk a little bit about that, but really what Rich and I are going to focus on today is the opposite. When guys look in the mirror and they see themselves as smaller than they actually are. One of the sort of, it's almost a medical term now, but it's certainly in the medical books. It's called bigorexia, where in some ways you never feel big enough. So, Rich, what do you think of that? That it's really an exploding trend that
Right,
guys are looking in the mirror and they don't feel like they're big enough and they can't get big enough.
right. So I think it's happening with the younger generation,
Hmm.
and more so because we have other social media platforms like Facebook and so it's a. I think that's the driving factor of this whole thing because they look at the pictures,
Hmm.
right, on Instagram and they try to compare themselves with them.
That's right.
So it's one of those again. It's men have to realize that we're men because we have testosterone, and we're men because you know we're fighters. We're leaders, right?
Protectors.
Yeah, protectors. So the idea that you want to be in shape, it's a little bit different than the idea of being strong.
Hmm.
So, so men want to be, when you're a man, you want to be strong. The problem is now is people want to just look good. They don't care about being strong. They just want to
Hmm.
look good. So when you go into something with, I want to look good, and then you compare yourself with other people, there's the balloon payment.
Hmm.
You're never going to be happy. Okay, and again, perfection, you can never be perfect, and
Hmm.
imperfection gives identity.
Hmm.
So but if a young if a young male went into this saying they want to get stronger, and then the side effect is that they look better, then
That's the secret.
I think you'll have less of dysmorphia.
Yeah, Rich, a great point. That's the secret, and I love the way you said side effect. It's one of the coolest things of weight training, because the side effect of weight training is you look better.
Right.
You and I, we use it to look better. There's no question
Hmm.
about it. We're both 38 years old, so
Oh yeah, I'm
we're fighting our
25 on
age.
my side. 25.
But we recognize that we're on the other side of the of middle life, right? There's either before or after, and we're on that second phase. So we care deeply about how we look, but we also care deeply about how we feel, right? And we use it
Right.
as a stress reducer. We certainly use it as a wonderful way to socially connect with people, right? Think about
Hmm.
yesterday, all the laughter we had with a
Oh, we had a
group of
good time.
people, right? Just
Yes. Yeah.
laughing. Um, and really, what we're talking about is, and again, you do a great job of describing it, is when people always compare themselves to others, you seem to fall short, and it is growing, and the media, social media platforms, and more importantly, these weird filters that you can put on pictures and so on. It's not even true anymore. Uh, One of the interesting side effects that's happening from this bigorexia, where people just want to be, I want to be bigger and bigger and bigger, and the bigger I am, the better I am. Uh, there's an increase in steroid use, and there's an increase in testosterone replacements and so on. And I want to show this picture of a young man. You talked about it with young men. It's really growing, and you're right. And I just want to show you, everyone, this picture of a side effect. It doesn't happen for everybody who abuses steroids, but it happens for a lot of people. So take a look at his back. And as you can see now from this picture, he's got quite a bit of back acne.
Right.
And so, yeah, he's got a nice V taper. It looks like he's got decent rear delts and good tries and buys. But now he's sort of tattooed artificially with all this back acne, because he is so driven and focused on being a particular size that probably can't take his shirt off in public. Have you ever noticed that, Rich, with people? You'll start to see some of these weird side
that's
effects.
a side effect. That's a side effect of taking steroids, right? You're going to have some form of acne. But what I do see is that so when you have the strongman, like the people that participate in they're worried about, actually not worried, but they're in the sport of being strong, like the strongman competitions. They're more on the heavier side, so they have a lot more fat content than most bodybuilders do, and they don't. You see a lot less with dysmorphia. The bodybuilders tend to do that because you have to, the whole idea of bodybuilding is flawed, I believe, because you have 6 judges or 5 judges, right, judging a group of men on their physique. Now, obviously, humans are flawed to begin with. So what I like and what you like is 2 different things.
That's
so
right.
If you have a different set of judges the next time, and then a forward's different set of judges, it's always going to be different. So it's so everyone has different tastes. So it's hard to fathom that that they're going to be correct on how you look.
Right.
That's what I'm basically saying.
And it's subjective, right?
Yeah,
It's
subjective. So
based
it's almost
on-
impossible for them.
Yeah.
So so when you hear a judge saying, well, you need to work on this, you need to work on that, you really take that to heart. But then if it was another judge, he'd probably pick 3 other different types of muscle groups on you. Or,
That's right.
Or he might even like the muscle group he or she might even like the muscle group that he was talking about that
That's
he didn't
right.
like. My point is that once you subject yourself for other people to make past judgments on you, your physical you, you're never gonna be. You're always gonna be chasing the rabbit, right?
Right.
So I wouldn't even put myself in that situation.
Nah.
And what you have to do is, instead of being a fan of someone else on Instagram, this is totally same, still related. Instead of being a fan on someone on Instagram, on Facebook, be your own fan. Worry about you.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
And the thing is and we talked about so when you lift weights, right? If you have your body type, whatever your body type is, when you train it, it's going to be an enhancement of that. So if you have a bad body type, right, it's going to be an enhancement of that. It's still going to look bad, but you're going to have bigger muscles.
Right.
So that's where it's that's why life is so tough. Like some people are just lucky to have
Great genetics, right?
great genetics, and some people don't. You know what I
Right.
mean? And some people are smarter than other people. So you have to take it with a grain of salt. I'm telling you, life is just not fair.
No.
And life is just not equal.
Right.
You know.
And Rich, one of the things I truly, truly love, and this is, I'm not saying because it's me, it's healthy. I'm saying it's healthy, regardless of if it's me, but it is me. When I exercise, when I weight train, right, that's my foundational core. I compete against me, right? I compete against me, and I love it, right? Whatever my bench is, whatever my squat is, whatever my bicep curls, whatever it is, I'm not competing against the guy next to me in the mirror, right? Not saying that I don't compare myself to other people in the gym, bigger,
Right.
smaller, faster, shorter, whatever it might be. But as far as the weights go, right, it's my own personal competition. For people with this body dysmorphia, as you talk about at the very beginning, they're always competing against someone else. And another side effect of this bigorexia, where I just got to get bigger and bigger and bigger for the sake of getting bigger, and I look in the mirror and I still see a small, scrawny guy, it's a massive side effect for a lot of these guys, particularly if they're using steroids or testosterone replacements. Let me show you this photo right here. I hope people will appreciate the humor. But here's a young man, a cartoon character. He's got the measuring tape out, and he's taking a peek. Take a look at this for a second. So, Rich, what we have, right, is this guy. We know that long-term steroid abuse will shrink testicles, right? The testicles, major producer of testosterone. So if you're pumping in artificial testosterone, the brain sends a message to the testicles, and it says, hey, dudes, hey, guys, hey, boys, guess what? Don't produce testosterone.
Yes, that
And the
yeah.
testicles shrink. I don't know if that's a fair trade-off for big biceps, right?
Well-
Small testicles, smaller penis. If you want a smaller penis, can I make a suggestion on camera, Rich?
What's
If
that?
you want to have a smaller penis, and I don't know a dude who does, right? We want a penis that's like this. I mean, I hope I don't offend anybody. Like just like, right, the whole thing. I'm not talking about here. I'm talking the whole thing, right? If you want a smaller penis, here's my recommendation to all our friends here at the studio and so on, and in the listening and viewing world. Go for a swim in some really icy cold water and then look down. I don't care how you are on a hot day. Swimming in cold water on a cold day, humble you real fast. Rich, any thoughts?
Well,
How do you
again,
even
that's
follow
still
that?
body dysmorphia, though, right?
That's
I'm
right,
talking
it
about if you're
sure
worried
is.
about what size your penis is
Yeah,
and your
absolutely.
your testicles, then you definitely have some degree of body dysmorphia. Again, like I said, when if you're going to the gym to compete with other people, if you're going to the gym, because you saw it on Instagram, those are the wrong reasons to go to the gym. The reason why you should go to the gym is because you want to invest in yourself. So so what that means is this: when you invest in yourself, you're going to feel better. It doesn't make a difference how your body looks.
That's right.
Like I said, the weight training is the side effect is your body. Hopefully, it will look better.
That's right.
But in any event, you'll be stronger, which is the main cause of you going to the gym. You want to be stronger. In life, you want to be stronger mentally, physically, and spiritually, and then life is pretty easy for you. But anyway, so once you go to the gym and you're going there for the wrong reasons, which is Instagram and you want to look better, then you're already stepping with the left foot. Then you're going in the wrong direction.
That's it.
Once you go to the gym and you say to yourself, "Listen, you know what? I got to get my health in order, right? Mentally and physically."
That's it.
And I have to invest in myself. So you go to the gym, but then you also read, and then you also look. You do some research because you want to keep your mind crisp, and you're nice to people. So you want to keep your soul nice. So you want you're in good shape. Everything everything. If you do it for the right reasons, you won't have these other side effects. So what happens is if you're going to the gym because you want to look good, then the blue payment is going to be you're never going to be with because you don't know what looking good is. Like you have an idea what it is because you saw someone else look good,
That's right.
but you don't know what it is, and your body is different from that person. So
That's
there's no way
right.
in the world you're going to look like that person,
Right.
right?
Be
Because
the best you.
Yeah. So it's you're chasing the thing. So what I would say is if you don't want to be in a situation, you have to look at a higher purpose for yourself.
That's right.
It has to be bigger than you. So if you're going to the gym because you want to protect, you want to be a strong man to protect your family, that is a good reason to go to the gym.
It sure is.
Okay, and you
It
follow
sure is.
that, you're not worrying about anybody else.
That's right.
And another thing, mind your business. That's why I said if you mind your business, life is easy.
Much easier.
But if you worry about what everyone else is doing, that's exactly what your whole life is going to be doing.
That's
worrying
right.
about what everyone else is
And
doing.
then you can't be happy, right?
You're never going to be
Always
happy.
worried about somebody.
When you mind your business, let me tell you something about minding your business, guys. The side effect is happiness. Because you're not worried about anything. You're just enjoying your life.
That's it. See,
You know?
you just outlined, and I love how you say keeping your brain crisp. I'm going to remember that one, Rich. That's a good one. You just outlined for every viewer why people should go to the gym. I'll add one detail at the end, but you identified the outline, the blueprint of why people should go to the gym. See, people who work out, move iron. I'm not talking about playing tennis, basketball, jogging, all good exercises, but it's scientifically proven. The people who move iron, you and I move iron, it does keep our brain sharp. It is good for our soul. And if you sprinkle in some kindness in that, it's beautiful. And if you think about, Rich, how you and I met, we met at the gym, right? It's a social thing too, right? You have an opportunity to talk with people. You have an opportunity to talk seriously with people sometimes, which I'm going to use your example, keeps the brain sharp. And yesterday, think about the other two gentlemen we were
Yeah,
talking with, right?
fun,
And
yeah.
we laughed. Oh, did we laugh, right?
Right.
See, laughter's good for the soul. We weren't in there going, oh, I got to go in the back room and put a needle in my butt and, and do all this artificial stuff. Here's the other thing that's scientifically proven about healthy exercise, particularly for men. It slows the aging process
Oh, of
down.
course,
It
yeah.
slows it down dramatically. And,
Osteoporosis.
what's that?
Osteoporosis.
Yeah, all of
Yeah.
it, right? The way we burn fat, the way that we metabolize, the way that we energize. And I don't know if I'm going to share my age at my next birthday on film yet because I can't even believe it. But I will say this. I know, and I'm not doing this, right, because I worked my tail off for it. It didn't just happen, right? You see me in the gym every morning. Well, sometimes. Sometimes I'm at the other gym, but
Right.
I'm in the gym every morning. I don't move like a man my age, right?
Right, right, right.
I don't feel like a man my age. I don't think like a man my age, and I don't act like a man my age. We could bring people in our studio, Rich, in their 50s and early 60s, who haven't lived this lifestyle, and they look older than their genetic age. You and I'm not just talking facially, we look younger than our genetic age, right? And why? Because we've made a commitment to a physical lifestyle, an emotional lifestyle, and a spiritual lifestyle. And I'll close it with this because I love how you bring this up so often, Rich. Kindness, right? Kindness is good for our soul. It keeps us young.
Right. Mentally strong, physically strong,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually strong. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm telling you, hit the nail on the head. If like anytime you execute anything with the right intentions,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna have a better side effect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So meaning, if you're gonna play, if you want to play football because you really love football,
Mm-hmm.
if you really love football, you're going to enjoy the sport.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing it because you want to go into NFL, you know what I mean. I'm talking about. Now you just took on a big responsibility.
Real big.
It's not fun anymore
Mm-hmm.
because it's a job. You just turn it into a job.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. So I'll give you fads. All right, fads.
Mm-hmm.
So, people tend to go with the fads. When you go with the fads, there's always going to be a balloon payment. Meaning, the new tattoo is on your shoulder. You go
Yeah,
get
right.
the tattoo on your shoulder, right? 6 years down the line, that tattoo, it's not on your shoulder anymore. You just showed your age. Now you don't like it, and so this whole thing, this whole fitness thing is a fad now. Like everybody is going to fitness. Everyone wants abs. Everyone wants this, but it's not real. You know what I mean? It's not. Everyone has abs. Okay, but you have to. Some people genetically they genetically have abs showing.
That's
Most
right.
people have to diet to their almost
extreme.
anorexic. Yeah, they're
That's right.
anorexic just to show their abs, and that's not.
It's not healthy.
That's not healthy. Okay, so like if you have like I said, if you have the right ideas, if you have the right reasons to do what you do, you're going to be fine.
And Rich, it's November 13th, right? So we're less than 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. So I'm just going to say to our viewers on behalf of you and I, because we do practice what we preach, we are not hypocrites. A lot of you are going to overeat, under-exercise over Thanksgiving and over Christmas. And then Rich and I will see you at the gym on January 1st and January 2nd. And Rich and I will look at you. We might even high-five your enthusiasm. But behind your back, Rich and I'll go, prove to us you'll be here February 1st. And they won't be,
Right.
right?
Well, that's a whole different. That's a whole different.
Right?
Different,
That's it's like
yeah, it's a whole different subject.
it's
yeah,
so weird. You can I share a story that you shared, Rich? Not to steal your thunder, but I think it's a good one. And then you could certainly chime in on it. Again, you and I, we know what we bring to the table as far as emotional, physical, and spiritual fitness. We know what we bring. And I remember, you've shared this story a couple of times that, you'll be walking down the mall and you'll hear the comment because of how you look. And that's kind of happening in our culture too. Instead of, first of all, they don't need to comment. That's not why you and I go out in public. Ooh, I hope people comment today. But there's certainly no reason to comment negatively. Oh, look at him. He thinks he's everything. They don't even know us, right? But you've shared that story that people will make comments, but if they look in the mirror, they don't exercise. And so since they have really small minds and very, very small self-esteem, instead of celebrating what you've done and what you've maintained, right? You're not 30 anymore. I'm not knocking it, right? But you're not 30 anymore, but you're built like you're 30. Isn't that cool? So instead of just maybe saying to their friend, wow, look at that guy, he looks really good, and he's probably not 30, they got to make a comment that is negative, right?
Mhm.
Uh,
I'm talking about that, but that's the world we live in today. So
Mhm.
it's mediocrity right now. So it's weird. Like it's so funny because as you get older, you get to see both sides of the coin.
Big time.
So when I was younger, right, people really into like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they appreciate the hard work. Now people who don't do anything. They don't even work out, and they're looking at, oh, look at this guy. Well, he think he must be on steroids. It's terrible. And that it's what's fueling the dysmorphia as well.
It is.
So it's
It
crazy. It's like we're living in Cuckooville right now. No, I'm being honest.
We are.
We're living
We are.
because here's here's I'm gonna use your word. Here's the deal, right? How can you make something positive into a negative? That's what ended up. If you're going to the gym and you're worried and you say I'm not big enough and I need to do this, you're not happy. Okay, so
Real
you're going
unhappy.
to the gym and you're going backwards. You're going to the gym and it's depressing you that night. Some people can't even. I'm talking about we haven't even touched base on what these people are going through. Some people can't even go to work.
No.
There's a lot of suicide with body dysmorphia.
There sure is.
Right.
There sure is.
And it's so sad because anytime you invest in yourself, it's supposed to be a positive thing, and for some reason, it turns into a negative. It turns into something negative because when you got into it, you went into it for all the wrong reasons.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because look, I'm talking about, look, I work out. If I was gonna pick, I could listen. If I could pick my body to death. You know what I mean? Like I don't have six pack right now, or I'm never gonna have it again, right? Unless I diet till I'm
Extreme.
anorexic, right? There's a lot of things about my body that's way from perfect, right? And there's a lot of things about me, and as I get older, it's gonna be a lot of imperfections going on.
Yep.
But who cares?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is I'm on this planet, and I'm happy. And
Right.
the reason why I'm happy because I'm going to do what I do, and then that's it. I'm talking about, I go to the gym, I have fun. I have fun with you. I have fun with my friends. I work out. I've invested in myself. And the way I look is the way I look. That's what God gave me, and I'm good with that. I'm not going to sit there and worry about if I got 2 more inches on my waist. I'm not going
Right,
to do it.
right.
Because I'm going to tell you something. 2 more inches on my waist or a cheesecake from Cheesecake, I'm getting a cheesecake.
Rich,
You
I
know?
love that. It's worth an inch or two.
Well, that you have to enjoy life.
You do. And you have to enjoy all of it. And really
And you can't worry about what other people think. Who cares?
Right. What we're highlighting, right, is neither extreme is healthy, right? This dieting to extreme or the other side of I'm not big enough, or
Right, it's sad.
I'm not small enough, or my nose is too big, my nose is too small. There's an inner peace in being humble
Right.
and confident at the same time, right? I know which one of my body parts looks great, and I know my calves don't. And yet I train them all the time.
Right.
And I
That's the way
giggle
it
to
is.
myself when I train my calves because I want to thank my biological family for some really subpar calf genes.
Right.
They're just never going to be big. Maybe a little more defined, but they're never going to be big. No one's ever going to see me in shorts and go, "Holy cow, Jeff, your calves are massive."
I know, right?
You know what I mean? So
Who's a singer that has the nose that makes her? It's
Barbra Streisand?
Barbra Streisand.
Yeah.
So that's a good example. Look, so let me tell you something. I was never a fan of her nose when I was little. Okay.
I love
Okay.
it.
As I got older,
Yeah.
I loved her nose.
Yeah.
Her nose, that
It
was
defined
her nose.
That's right.
Okay, so it wasn't perfect. It was imperfect,
Perfectly imperfect, right?
but it gave her identity.
It sure did.
And what's it's funny because what happened is because of her nose gave her that sound.
It did.
She said, okay, so you know what I mean. So that's what I'm saying. Like And you know what? You have to give her kudos for that because she never changed it. People like gave her a hard time, like, listen, you should change. You know,
Yeah,
you should
no
change
plastic
it.
surgery,
And she
nothing, right?
and she kept her nose.
Yes, she did.
You know, and she and I find her very beautiful.
I do too. It's so
You know?
interesting. For years I thought she was this almost sort of underrated, uniquely very, very attractive woman.
Right.
Maybe it's because of her eyes. I don't know, but there is something about her.
Right.
You know what it probably is confidence and belief in yourself, right?
That's it.
Is very, very alluring. I believe Seinfeld called it the Kavorka. By the way, I'd have to give a shout out to Abby now because she has had to live with the Kavorka. That's all I'll say.
Okay, you
She'll-
have to tell me that after the show.
She'll appreciate a little Kavorka reference for sure. But and Rich, as we begin to wrap up today, right? We're talking about three really examples. We're talking about extremely thin, not healthy. Really, this over focus on I just got to get big and big and big. I like how you say no, you got to get strong and strong and strong. And then we're focusing on somewhere this healthy in between, where you exercise and you weight train and you do what you do for the joy of the experience, and then the side effect of it is, oh yeah, and I look good too.
Right.
Versus just training to look good. There's some upside to it, but it's also very different. I don't know if you can ever win that battle. But I will personally say this, and then Rich, I'll give you the last word. As much as I care about how I look, and I just do, not in a conceited way, to me it continues to remind me I'm healthy, if that even makes sense. I train because it's a wonderful stress reducer for me. I'm a different guy when I leave the gym than when I first walk in. Right? There's a buzz, there's an electricity, there's a juice. I'm ready to take on the day and whatever the day might behold. So that's really my number one reason for going. And then I guess as you talk about, one of the great side effects is I get to have big shoulders, big as arms, and a big chest. And I guess some people might say a big ego, and I'll go, okay. Rich, how about you?
So, So when I was young, probably like 6 or 7, I looked we talked about that. I looked in the dictionary, and it said men is physically strong, mentally strong.
Mm-hmm.
So physically and mentally strong. So I always did push-ups when I was little. Like when I was old enough, I went to the gym. But I did that journey to be physically strong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it. Now of course I end up liking how I look.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of lucky with the body type that God gave me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was never obsessed by it. Like I didn't care about the abs. Like I'm not dieting to get the abs. I didn't care about going on a show or anything like that. I did my thing and I just did it, because I just worried about being strong. And then, so going to the gym for me is investing in myself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Obviously, I still have, I still have work to do only because my eating's a little off, because I like sweets and I like other things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a constant battle, but it's a healthy battle.
That's right.
Because, so if I eat too much sweets and I start gaining some weight, I'm gaining some weight because of it, I say to myself, listen, I got to slow down because my cholesterol could be going up. So again, it's correlation to the cholesterol. It's not because of the way I look.
Healthy.
I want to be healthy. So.
Yep.
So then I changed my diet a little bit, and I focus on going to the gym and eat well, because it's both of them in conjunction, like they're both, together. So I try to eat well, but it's a constant battle. It's like I'm never, I never look in the mirror and say, this is what I need to do to get to be better. But I do look at my numbers at the hospital, my doctors, and say, listen,
Absolutely.
I have to trim this down. I have to, maybe do some more cardio and stuff like that. But the reason why I invest myself in the gym and the reason why I invest myself in trying to be mentally strong and be and also be fulfilled with my spirituality is because now I have enough to give to other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? 'Cause if you don't invest in yourself via physically, mentally, spiritually, you have nothing to give to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you work all the time, you eat whatever you want, you just do whatever you want, then you have nothing to give to your child. You have
That's
nothing
right.
to give to your friends. You have
Right.
no, only thing you're doing is telling them how bad your life is.
Yeah.
But once you
Right,
once you
right.
take it, that's how if you want to learn how to take control of your life, that's what you do.
Yep.
You get to know yourself. So that's why I do it.
Yeah, and Rich, you and I, we've talked a lot on camera and off camera that we don't buy the excuse that there's not time to focus on your emotional, physical, and spiritual health. You make time for what's important. So,
Right.
so
So let me
Yeah,
look.
go ahead.
So I always said that. I said this to you. So it's a ghetto term, but it makes sense. You never see a crackhead without crack,
Mm-hmm.
and that's an expensive habit.
Mm-hmm.
Human beings, whatever they want to do, they do. They're doing it right now.
That's
So
right.
if they're not going to the gym, it's because they don't want to go to the gym. Whatever
That's
they're
it.
doing, they're sitting on the couch. That's what they want to do.
That's it.
If they're smoking a cigarette, that's what they want to do.
And they got to accept it.
And that's the way it is. So everyone's doing what they want to do. You might not, you might not like what you're doing, but because you're doing it, that's exactly what you want to do.
Absolutely. On that note, Rich and I talked a lot to you all about empowerment, taking control and charge of your own life. This is another wonderful example. Just, if you only take one message out of what Rich and I highlighted for you today, find balance. You find your own personal balance. Don't find balance with Rich. Don't find balance with me. You find your own personal balance. You know what it is. You know what it is. And I like what Rich said. You either choose to do it or you don't. We want to encourage you to do it. Hey, a big thank you, big shout out goes to our new director, our new producer, Dominique, who continues to help us provide you these important and informative shows. On behalf of the Dark Knight of Podcasts, Richard Yancey, I'm Dr. Jeff LaCure. We wish you much health, happiness, and maybe most importantly, a little grace sprinkled with some kindness from Richard Yancey. On that beautiful note, we love you dearly. Stay safe.